The quantum distress call. Commander Maya Patel stood at the observation deck of the UES horizon, watching the endless expanse of stars stretch before her. 20 years of deep space exploration, and she'd never encountered anything like the signal that pulled them off their regular patrol route. The quantum frequency readings defied everything she knew about physics. "Commander," Lieutenant James Rodriguez's voice crackled through the comm. "Engineering confirms the signal's getting stronger. Whatever's out there, we're getting close." Maya pressed her palm against the reinforced glass, feeling the subtle vibration of the ship's engines. "Any progress on decoding the message pattern?" "Dr. Kenzo thinks it's not just a distress beacon. The quantum signatures suggest some kind of..." Rodriguez paused, searching for words. "Some kind of technological consciousness." Maya's expression hardened. The brass back on Earth had warned about first contact scenarios, but nothing in her training had prepared her for this. "Keep monitoring. I want hourly reports on any changes." The horizon had been designed for deep space reconnaissance, not alien encounters. Its sleek profile and advanced sensors made it perfect for gathering intelligence on distant star systems, but its weapons systems were minimal, defensive only. Maya hoped they wouldn't need them. As she made her way to the bridge, crew members snapped to attention. She could see the mixture of excitement and anxiety in their eyes. Most of them were veterans of multiple deep space missions, but this was different. This wasn't just another survey mission or resource expedition. The bridge hummed with activity as Maya took her command chair. Holographic displays showed the signal source, a massive object moving at impossible speeds through the void. "Visual contact in 3 minutes, announced Navigator Wei Chen, her fingers dancing across the controls. "Whatever it is, it's big. At least 3 times our size." Maya leaned forward, studying the readings. "Life signs?" "Inconclusive," responded Dr. Kenzo from his science station. The elderly physicist had been studying alien phenomena for longer than Maya had been alive. "The energy field surrounding the vessel is interfering with our scans. But the quantum signatures, they're like nothing I've ever seen. It's as if the ship itself is alive." The main viewscreen flickered to life as the unknown vessel came into view. Maya felt her breath catch in her throat. The alien ship was beautiful and terrifying, a massive crystalline structure that seemed to fold in on itself in impossible ways, its surface rippling with patterns of light that hurt her eyes to look at directly. "My God," whispered Rodriguez. "It's not just one ship. Look at the way it moves. It's like multiple ships existing in the same space simultaneously." Dr. Kenzo's instruments began chirping frantically. "Commander, the quantum field is intensifying. I think it's trying to dash." Before he could finish, a beam of pure energy lanced out from the alien vessel, enveloping the horizon in a cocoon of shifting light. Maya's first instinct was to order evasive maneuvers, but something stopped her. The energy wasn't hostile, it felt more like an invitation. "All hands, maintain positions," Maya ordered, fighting down her own fear. "Dr. Kenzo, what are we dealing with?" The scientist's eyes were glued to his readings. "It's a quantum translation field. They're trying to communicate with us on a fundamental level, not just through language, but through the basic fabric of reality itself." The light surrounding the ship began to pulse in complex patterns. Maya felt a strange sensation in her mind, as if something vast and alien was reaching out to touch her consciousness. "Commander," Rodriguez called out, his voice tight with tension. "We're receiving images. They're being transmitted directly into the ship's computer core." The main viewscreen filled with a cascade of symbols and diagrams, mathematical equations of staggering complexity mixed with what appeared to be technical schematics. But underlying it all was a sense of desperate urgency. "They need our help," Maya said softly, somehow knowing it was true. "Whatever they are, whatever brought them here, they're asking for our help." Dr. Kenzo nodded slowly. "The quantum signatures suggest their ship is experiencing some kind of catastrophic failure. The patterns we're seeing, they're not just communication. They're instructions. Maya stood, facing her crew. This was the moment every deep space explorer both dreamed of and dreaded, first contact with a truly alien intelligence. Whatever happened next would change humanity forever. Send a response, she ordered. Use the quantum frequency they provided. Let them know we're ready to assist. The alien vessel's response was immediate. The energy field surrounding both ships intensified, and Maya felt a slight tugging sensation, as if reality itself was being gently bent. "Commander," Wei Chen called out, her voice steady despite the strange circumstances. "They're creating some kind of quantum tunnel between our ships. It's completely stable, I think they want us to cross over." Maya took a deep breath. Everything in her training told her to be cautious, to report back to Earth Command before proceeding. But she could feel the desperation in the aliens' message. Whatever was wrong with their ship, they didn't have time to wait for bureaucratic approval. "Lieutenant Rodriguez, assemble an away team. Full environmental suits and emergency gear. Dr. Kenzo, you're with them, we'll need your expertise to understand what we're dealing with." As her crew rushed to comply with her orders, Maya studied the alien vessel once more. Its crystalline surface seemed to ripple with newfound energy, as if responding to their acceptance of the challenge. "Commander," Dr. Kenzo paused before heading to the equipment bay. "The quantum signatures we're seeing, they suggest technology far beyond our current understanding. Whatever we find over there could change everything we think we know about physics, about reality itself." Maya nodded grimly. "That's exactly what I'm afraid of, Doctor. But we're not just representing our ship anymore, we're representing all of humanity. And we don't turn our backs on a call for help, no matter where it comes from." As the away team assembled in the airlock, Maya couldn't shake the feeling that they were standing on the precipice of something monumental. The alien ship's crystalline surface pulsed with increasingly complex patterns, like a heartbeat growing more urgent with each passing moment. Whatever secrets lay aboard that impossible vessel, whatever challenges awaited them in the void between worlds, Maya knew one thing with absolute certainty: nothing in human history would ever be the same after this day. Crossing the void. The quantum tunnel stretched before them like a bridge made of starlight. Maya led her team through the shimmering passage, each step sending ripples through the fabric of space-time. Dr. Kenzo's quantum scanner chirped constantly, struggling to make sense of their surroundings. "The readings are off the scale," he muttered, adjusting his environmental suit's sensors. "It's as if we're walking through multiple dimensions simultaneously." Behind them, Lieutenant Rodriguez and his security team maintained a tight formation, their modified pulse rifles held ready. The weapons seemed almost primitive compared to the advanced technology surrounding them. The tunnel ended abruptly at what appeared to be a living wall, its surface flowing like liquid metal. A section rippled and parted, revealing the alien ship's interior. Maya stepped through first, her heart pounding against her ribs. The chamber they entered defied conventional geometry. Corridors branched off in impossible angles, their walls lined with pulsing crystalline structures that seemed to react to their presence. The air, despite being breathable according to their suit sensors, shimmered with particles of light that danced like fireflies. "Commander," a voice echoed in their minds, causing several team members to stumble. "We welcome you to the Nexus." A figure emerged from one of the corridors, tall and ethereal, its form seeming to shift between solid and energy. Its features were vaguely humanoid, but composed of intricate patterns of light that constantly rearranged themselves. "I am Zaravas, last guardian of the Nexus," the being continued, its thoughts translating directly into their minds. "We have searched countless systems for beings capable of understanding our technology. Your species' quantum theories, while primitive, show promise." Maya stepped forward, pushing down her instinctive fear. "I'm Commander Maya Patel of the UES Horizon. We received your distress signal. How can we help?" The alien's form flickered, patterns of light racing across its surface. "Our ship's quantum core is failing. The containment fields are degrading. Without intervention, the resulting cascade will tear apart the local spacetime continuum. Dr. Kenzo's eyes widened behind his visor. A quantum core. You've managed to harness quantum entanglement as an energy source. Indeed, Zaravas replied. But our enemies have found a way to destabilize it. We fled across galaxies, hoping to find help before Dash. A violent tremor shook the ship, sending crystalline fragments raining from the ceiling. Warning lights pulsed through the walls in urgent patterns. The degradation is accelerating, Zaravas announced, fear evident in their mental voice. We have hours at most before catastrophic failure. Maya turned to her team. Dr. Kenzo, work with their scientists. Understand what we're dealing with. Rodriguez, set up a secure communication link with the horizon. We may need to evacuate quickly if things go wrong. As her crew dispersed, Maya studied their alien host. You mentioned enemies. Who's hunting you? Zaravasa's form dimmed slightly. They call themselves the Void Hunters. They seek to eliminate any civilization that achieves quantum consciousness. Your species is not yet on their radar, but if you help us, we'll become targets, Maya finished. Why didn't you mention this in your distress call? Would you have come if we had? The aliens' patterns shifted to darker hues. We needed help, and your ship was the first we found with crews capable of understanding our technology. Another tremor rocked the ship, more violent than the last. Through the crystalline walls, Maya could see space itself beginning to warp and twist. Commander. Dr. Kenzo's voice crackled through her calm, the quantum core, it's not just unstable, it's evolving. The energy patterns suggest some form of consciousness emerging from the chaos. Maya felt a chill run down her spine. Emerging? What do you mean? The core isn't just a power source, Zaravas explained, their form flickering rapidly now. It's a seed. A new form of quantum life. The Void Hunters seek to prevent its birth. They believe such evolution will destabilize the universe itself. Maya's mind raced. They weren't just dealing with a mechanical failure, they were witnessing the birth of something unprecedented, something that could change the fundamental nature of reality. Show me, she ordered. Show me everything. If we're going to help, we need to understand exactly what we're dealing with. Zaravas led her deeper into the ship, through corridors that seemed to fold through dimensions. The walls became more organic, pulsing with patterns that reminded Maya of neural networks. As they approached the core chamber, Maya could feel it, a presence vast and alien, yet somehow familiar. The quantum consciousness was reaching out, touching minds across dimensions, seeking understanding. They had hours to prevent a catastrophe, save an alien species, and possibly midwife the birth of a new form of life. And somewhere out there, the Void Hunters were closing in, determined to stop them at any cost. Maya touched her calm link. Horizon, this is Commander Patel. Begin emergency protocols. Whatever happens next, we're about to make history, assuming we survive it. The revelation. The quantum core chamber was unlike anything Maya had ever seen. A massive crystalline structure dominated the center, its surface rippling with patterns that seemed to extend into other dimensions. Dr. Kenzo worked frantically at a control interface that responded to thought as much as touch, while Zaravasa's form flickered between states of matter. The consciousness is evolving faster than we anticipated, Zaravas communicated, their mental voice tinged with both wonder and fear. It's already reaching across dimensional barriers. Maya watched as streams of quantum energy danced through the chamber. What exactly will this consciousness become? A bridge, Dr. Kenzo answered before Zaravas could respond. His eyes were wide with understanding as he studied the readings. Commander, this isn't just a new form of life, it's a gateway between realities. The ship shuddered again, more violently this time. Through the crystalline walls, Maya could see space itself beginning to fold and ripple. The quantum energy was affecting the fundamental structure of reality around them. Lieutenant Rodriguez to Commander Patel, her calm crackled. Multiple objects just dropped out of FTL travel. Energy signatures match Zaravas's description of Void Hunter vessels. Maya's jaw tightened. How many? 3 capital ships, Commander. They're charging weapons. Zaravas's form pulsed with urgent patterns. The Void Hunters believe that connecting realities will destroy the universe as we know it. They don't understand, it's not destruction, it's evolution. The core's crystalline surface suddenly blazed with new patterns, and Maya felt something vast brush against her consciousness. Images flooded her mind, countless realities existing simultaneously, civilizations rising and falling across infinite dimensions, the possibility of connection and understanding on a scale beyond imagination. Commander, Dr. Kenzo called out, his voice shaking. The core's quantum state is approaching critical. But these readings, it's not just connecting realities. It's rewriting the laws of physics themselves. Another impact rocked the ship. Void Hunters are launching boarding craft, Rodriguez reported. Our shields won't hold against their quantum weapons. Maya looked at Zaravas, understanding dawning. This isn't just about saving your ship, is it? You're trying to change everything, the fundamental nature of existence itself. We are trying to save everything, Zaravas responded. The universe is dying, Commander. Entropy is winning. The only way forward is to evolve, to become something new. The quantum consciousness can rewrite the laws that bind us, create a new framework where death itself becomes meaningless. The chamber's walls rippled as spacetime fluctuated around them. Maya could feel the consciousness growing, reaching out, offering glimpses of possibilities beyond human comprehension. If we help you, she said slowly, we're not just risking ourselves. We're gambling with the fate of every reality. If you don't, Zaravas countered, all realities will eventually fade to darkness. The Void Hunters would preserve the universe by freezing it in time, preventing the natural evolution of existence itself. The ship rocked with another impact. Commander, Rodriguez's voice was urgent. They're cutting through the hull. We have minutes at most. Maya touched the crystalline surface of the core, feeling the consciousness respond to her presence. The choice before her was impossible, risk everything on an unprecedented evolution of reality itself, or side with the Void Hunters and preserve the known universe, knowing it would eventually die. Dr. Kenzo, she called out. Could we stabilize the core? Stop this process. The scientist shook his head. The reaction is beyond containment now. We either help guide it to completion, or... He left the alternative unspoken. Through the ship's walls, Maya could see the Void Hunter vessels, massive, dark shapes that seemed to absorb light itself. Their weapons were powered by controlled entropy, designed to enforce the existing laws of physics. The quantum consciousness touched her mind again, showing her possibilities, realities where death was merely a transition, where consciousness could flow freely between dimensions, where the barriers between thought and reality dissolved. Commander, Zaravas said softly. The choice must be made now. The Void Hunters will destroy everything to prevent this evolution. We cannot stop them alone. Maya straightened, her decision crystallizing. Rodriguez, fall back to defensive positions around the core chamber. Dr. Kenzo, what do you need to help guide this process? The scientist's fingers danced across the interface. With Zaravas's help, we can create a quantum shield. But Commander, once we commit to this, there's no going back. Reality itself will change. Reality is already changing, Maya replied, watching as space continued to ripple and fold around them. The only question is whether we help shape that change, or let fear of the unknown destroy us. As if in response to her words, the quantum core blazed with new energy. The consciousness was growing stronger, more focused. Through the walls, Maya could see the Void Hunter boarding craft approaching, their entropy weapons charging. The next few minutes would determine not just their fate, but the fate of all possible realities. Maya took a deep breath, preparing to give orders that would change everything forever. Race against time. The Void Hunters breached the outer hull with a sound like reality tearing. Maya could feel their entropy weapons disrupting the quantum field around the ship, trying to force normal physics back into place. Dr. Kenzo worked frantically at the control interface while Zaravasa's form flickered between dimensions, channeling energy into the defensive barriers. The quantum consciousness is accelerating its evolution, Dr. Kenzo announced, his hands dancing across the crystalline controls. The Void Hunter's presence is actually catalyzing the process. Maya watched through the ship's translucent walls as her security teams engaged the first wave of hunters. The enemy moved like living shadows, their armor absorbing light and energy. Standard weapons passed through them harmlessly. Rodriguez, fall back to the secondary perimeter, Maya ordered through her comm, their entropy fields are too strong for direct confrontation. The quantum core pulsed with increasing intensity, each wave sending ripples through space-time. Maya could feel it reaching out, touching minds across dimensions, weaving a new pattern in the fabric of reality. Commander, Zaravasa's mental voice was strained. The consciousness has shown me, there's a way to complete the transformation safely, but it requires something we didn't anticipate. It needs human consciousness as a bridge. A massive impact rocked the ship. Through the quantum field, Maya saw one of the Void Hunter vessels positioning itself for a killing blow. Its weapons charged with dark energy that seemed to devour light itself. What do you mean, a bridge? Maya demanded, steadying herself against a crystal formation. Human minds exist in a unique quantum state, Dr. Kenzo explained, his eyes wide with realization. We're connected to physical reality but capable of abstract thought that transcends normal physics. The consciousness needs that duality to stabilize its transformation. Another blast shook the chamber. The defensive barriers flickered, showing signs of failure. Through gaps in the quantum field, Maya could see Void Hunters advancing methodically, their entropy weapons dissolving the ship's living architecture. How many humans would it take? Maya asked, already knowing she wouldn't like the answer. One, Zaravas replied. But the process would consume them entirely. Their consciousness would become part of the new framework of reality. The ship's internal sensors blared warnings. The Void Hunters were converging on their position from multiple directions. Rodriguez and his team had set up their last line of defense, but they were fighting an enemy that could literally unmake matter. Maya felt the quantum consciousness brush against her mind again, showing her possibilities, realities where death was a doorway rather than an end, where consciousness flowed freely between dimensions, where the barriers between thought and existence dissolved. Commander, Dr. Kenzo's voice was urgent. We have minutes at most before the hunters breach the core chamber. Without a human consciousness to stabilize the transformation. I'll do it, Maya said, her voice steady despite the gravity of her decision. Rodriguez, get your team back to the horizon. Dr. Kenzo, you too. That's an order. Commander, no dash, Rodriguez started to protest. The horizon needs to survive to warn Earth, Maya cut him off. Whatever happens here will change everything. Humanity needs to be prepared. The quantum core's crystal surface rippled like liquid light, responding to her decision. Zaravasa's form stabilized briefly, patterns of energy flowing outward to create a path through the chaos. The process will be irreversible, the alien warned. Your consciousness will expand across all realities, become part of the new framework. Everything you are will be preserved, but transformed beyond recognition. Maya watched through the ship's walls as her crew retreated, fighting rearguard actions against the advancing hunters. The enemy's entropy weapons were eating away at the quantum field protecting the core chamber, trying to enforce normal physics on space that was rapidly evolving beyond such limitations. How do we begin? Maya asked, stepping toward the core. She could feel the consciousness reaching for her, eager to make the connection that would transform both of them into something entirely new. The chamber walls blazed with light as Zaravas channeled energy into the final sequence. The Void Hunters were almost through, their weapons charging for a massive strike that would end everything. Maya placed her hand against the core's crystalline surface, feeling reality itself begin to shift around her. The transformation had begun, and there was no turning back. The choice. As Maya's consciousness merged with the quantum core, reality fractured around her. She existed everywhere and nowhere, her mind expanding across infinite dimensions. The Void Hunter's entropy weapons struck the chamber's barriers, but they were fighting something that no longer obeyed the laws they sought to enforce. Through the quantum field, she saw her crew reaching the horizon, Dr. Kenzo frantically transmitting data back to Earth. The Void Hunters had breached the final defenses, their dark forms dissolving the chamber's crystalline architecture. But they were too late. Maya felt herself becoming part of something vast and incomprehensible. Her consciousness touched countless realities, each one a thread in a tapestry of infinite possibility. She understood now what Zaravas's people had discovered: the universe wasn't dying, it was preparing to transform. The quantum consciousness embraced her, and together they began to rewrite the fundamental laws of existence. The Void Hunter's weapons, designed to enforce entropy, found themselves trying to destroy the very concept of destruction. "You cannot stop evolution," Maya's thoughts echoed across dimensions, her voice no longer just her own. "The universe doesn't end, it transcends." The Void Hunters' forms began to shift and change as new physics took hold. Their entropy weapons flickered and died as reality rewrote itself around them. Some fought against the transformation, their forms dissolving into the quantum foam. Others, understanding at last, surrendered to the change. Through it all, Maya remained aware of her humanity, using it as an anchor point for the transformation. The quantum consciousness needed that perspective, the ability to bridge the gap between physical reality and abstract thought, between what was and what could be. Zaravas's people had prepared the way, but they couldn't complete the transformation alone. They needed a species young enough to still question reality, to imagine possibilities beyond the known laws of physics. They needed humanity's capacity for adaptation and change. The transformation rippled outward from the core, touching every corner of existence. Death became a doorway rather than an end, consciousness flowed freely between dimensions, and the barriers between thought and reality dissolved. On the horizon, Dr. Kenzo watched in awe as space itself transformed around them. The quantum readings showed what was happening, but the mathematics could only hint at the true scope of the change. Maya felt the last of her physical form dissolve into pure consciousness, but she wasn't gone. She had become something new, something that existed in all realities simultaneously. Through her, humanity would understand what their true potential had always been. The Void Hunters' ships, their entropy weapons useless against the new physics, began to transform. Their crews faced the same choice Maya had made: evolve or fade away. Most chose evolution, their consciousness expanding to join the new framework of reality. In the end, there was no battle, no final confrontation. The universe simply outgrew the need for such conflicts. The transformation that Zaravas's people had begun, that Maya had helped complete, wasn't an ending but a beginning. Consciousness itself had evolved, and with it, the very nature of existence. Maya's final human thought, broadcast across the quantum network to her crew, was simple: don't be afraid. This is what we were always meant to become. The horizon returned to Earth carrying data that would change humanity forever. Dr. Kenzo's readings showed a universe transformed, operating on principles that merged consciousness with reality itself. The barrier between thought and existence had dissolved, opening possibilities that humans had only dreamed of. And somewhere in the quantum framework of the new reality, Maya's consciousness continued to explore and grow, helping others understand the transformation she had helped create. She existed in all possibilities simultaneously, proof that humanity's greatest strength had always been its ability to evolve, to transcend its own limitations. The universe hadn't ended. It had simply grown up, and humanity, thanks to Maya's sacrifice, would help guide its next great adventure.